Bless up peeps, this is Steven on the building, and I'm here with a story for you today about this young man go by the name of Tarik Bailey. Now this young man, he had been diagnosed with keratoconus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's where your cornea bulge out and you basically go blind. And he had been diagnosed now for 3 years with this ailment, but he had been going through so much before that, before the doctors were actually able to diagnose him properly. And it wasn't even the doctors them. At the end of the day, it was his mom who really brought the attention to the ophthalmologist that checked out his eye, and then they were able to make the diagnosis, because they were misdiagnosing this young man for years, you see me. And this caused him a lot of his vision, basically all his vision and left eye, almost completely blind in his left eye. That's how messed up it is. Now he's seeking a corneal transplant, and I have a lot of kind and generous subscribers on my channel. More than one time they have offered to help in situations that I wasn't able to come in contact with the persons them when we do the stories before. But in this situation, we see here Tarik has a GoFundMe. So his goal is $7,000 US. He's currently at $225. So just call it around maybe 5% time goal. So I say we need to get him up to $7,000. So whatever little you can give, would be be highly appreciated, because this young man, he need it, or else he might go blind. He need a corneal transplant. So as I say, you not take you out your day if it just comes a boom and just drop a $5, $2, $10 US. Me just send it across. The GoFundMe go already. You go to the page and you walk you through what to do to send the money, or to put the money in the GoFundMe. Now I'm gonna read a little through his story and what he has been through, because he have a little story him right, and basically explain why he's been through. The link to the GoFundMe with the full story as well will be in the description below, but I'll also tag it at the top of the page in the comment section, so look for that as well. And it goes a little bit like this. Tarik is a jovial, self-motivated, driven and helpful soul. I'm also a patient of keratoconus. I need your assistance so I can do a corneal transplant for my left eye. Now here's a brief synopsis of how I found out about my keratoconus. This was 3 years ago. After seeing many eye doctors and despair feeding away at my hopes of seeing properly again, my mom went ahead and had an appointment set up for me to see an eye specialist to take one more look. Appointment day, while the doc was examining my eye, my mom, being the brilliant woman she is, said to the doc, could it be a corneal issue why my son isn't able to see? My mom had been watching a series on TV named Docs, and one day they spoke about eye illness and contributing factors associated with it. Shocked as he was, my mother's expertise started explaining his diagnosis of what he found, and that's when we were officially introduced to the keratoconus. For years I've been incorrectly treated for an astigmatism of nearsightedness, when in fact I had a keratoconus. After doing further tests, I was then told I would need a corneal transplant for my left eye, because the progression of the cornea in its cone shape was far gone, and I could only be corrected through a transplant. Wow. For my right eye, they had recommended cross-linking and soft contact lens. Keratoconus doesn't affect both eyes to the same degree, so the viewer will be able to see clear enough out of one eye, and no joke ridiculously horrible out of the next. I mean, it's extremely blurry with whatever I'm looking at being multiplied times 4 or even 8, depending on how bright or dark the environment is. The road has not been easy. I have endured more challenges and depressing times than I could count, but I believe everything happens for a reason, and Father God had a plan for me. I try to remain positive. The battles I have fought through every day has taught me so much. I have learned how to be patient, humble, kind, and how to keep the faith. I've learned how to appreciate the beauty of life in its simplicity. These lessons have molded me into a better and more appreciative human being. I'm grateful for my journey as it has taught me a lot. I'm also grateful because I had the help of my family, friends, and well-wishers to raise some, but it's not the figure I need to get this done. So man, say, help me save my eyes so I can see properly again. Thank you. Wow. I mean, damn. And you can see the persons that might donate so far. You see me say some of my families and friends. See me say up to $225. Me see Tef also, TF the entertainment feed, him also did, you know, give this some highlight on his channel. So, you know, for people help out and thing, and I really hope people will really can help and see this actually help, because trust me people, take it from me, someone experiencing an issue similar to this. You know, nice when you lose your sight. You see me? I tell you, so imagine, you know, you see all along and then your eyes start go bad and doctor diagnose you and give, you know, misdiagnose you, and you're there for so much of your life thinking, you know, your vision would get better and it only get worse because of misdiagnosis. And your mom actually have to say to the doctor, say, you know, that's what's going on and all of that. And it's so sad because, you know, maybe if you know back then, you know, you wouldn't have to go to the extreme of a corneal transplant. But right now it's so bad that he's unable to see through the eye, almost completely blind in his eye, you know. So I'm really, I look forward to the help. If you're not able to help peeps, please, man, I beg you to show some love and, you know, send this all over, share this video as much as you can. You know what I mean? Want this to go viral so a lot of persons can see it, and really people with you know, able to help or assist in some way can see the video and help out, because you know someone go through a similar situation. I actually met this person in a bus, and he got misdiagnosed also and was getting drops for his eyes over the years until him almost completely blind. You know, when him almost completely blind now, he found out that the treatment he was getting was the wrong treatment. Now, me now say this is a fault of the doctor, because there's so much different ailment and illness out there, but some of the time, you know, it's unable, a doctor or a specialist is unable to identify all illness, because there's sometimes that illness have a similarity between another, and then it's a completely different thing. When you check it out, they look so similar and it's a totally completely different thing. So wow. Now that same guy I tell you about earlier, he is blind. There was no GoFundme back then. You know, there were small charity events and stuff, but now we have the power of the internet and we're able to, you know, send out this across the world so more people can see it. Even if you're able to help, or even if you're unable to help, share this video so more people can see it, so that it raises some awareness around it and you get the real help we need. Now the good news about this, as we stated earlier, he can, you know, get a transplant, a cornea transplant, which would allow him to see again. Now he has a GoFundMe. I'm going to leave the link in the description below, by the way, so you can see it and check it out. But this GoFundMe page, he also gives his story in full, so you can understand what he has been through. And earlier, as we stated, he has been through a lot, you know, going through the story, he has been through a lot, you know. But it's so touching because he said this situation that he has, this problem with his eyes, you know, has humbled him and helped him to become a better person. Because when you realize I go blind and all of that, you know, you become more in tune with life. Because a lot of people out there now always put off things because them always say them have another day, them have a next day, them have a next day. But when you realize your days them numbered, or when you realize that, you know, maybe one day you wake up and you're unable to see again, then you will realize the importance of life, or the importance of sight, in this case his eyes. So he's a person where it may give him loss. He's a soulful, hard-working, self-driven person, which, you know, all of we can say that, but not all of we can live that lifestyle. So for him to even come out and show his heart and pour out how he feels about this whole thing and ask for help, it's a big step from someone like that. So I want to check out his page and give him a hand. Tarik Bailey, as I say, he is going through a rough time now. He needs the surgery. You know, he's there on his way to his goal. He's far away, but we can all put in our hand and, you know, give a little helping hand here and there, and then share the video so it go viral and more people help. Because the more people see this, the more people out there will have it and able to help, will help him to reach him goal, so him can able to see again. You see me? And as I said, the GoFundMe page will be in the description below. I'm gonna also leave it in the comment section, so look out for that. Click it and then you can read the full story and hear what I go through and all of that, and see if you can help, show some help people. Bless up on yourself. Thanks for tuning in as always, and have a great day. DCS TV, I'm out.